Hey guys, what's up? JP and Co here. We told you we were going to talk about some drop frames E3 coverage, so that's what we're doing. We're back this year. Co's going to be joining us. You went to E3 last year and discovered that's not what you want to do. You want to stay home and you want to cover it, correct?
That's right, man. No question.
So that's what we're going to be doing. But before we even jump to that, let's talk a little bit about last year's coverage. Basically, it was me, a bunch of other broadcasters. We had Giant Waffle, we had Dance Gaming, we had Tally, we had Bacon Donut. Ellaheim was there. Sacriel sat in, Shannon sat in, and it was basically just a bunch of broadcasters sitting around and talking over the conferences. And we're not really going to change too much of that because you guys seemed to really like it last year. And I think Co was even watching while he was at E3, and he wanted to be a part of it. So we're not going to change
Not only that, but it was my plane entertainment the entire flight.
That's right. I remember you watched it on the plane. I do remember you in chat screaming because you wanted to be a part of it.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
So in terms of what exactly our coverage is going to be, we're going to kind of try to make the all-encompassing E3, the one-stop shop on Twitch for you guys to come and join us. So, Co, why don't you talk a little bit about our pre-E3 coverage in terms of what we're going to be doing the week prior, just kind of previewing everything that week.
Well, we're going to be going over everything that we can find, every morsel of information regarding what the conference is going to be talking about. We're going to be discussing what we think, conjecture, ideas, and most importantly, taking guesses at what we think the big news will be, which mostly will be wrong, but should provide some interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, I think we'll probably all be wrong there. This is one of those E3s where, I mean, after last year's E3, who knows what people are going to start bringing out on stage. So really excited to see what that's going to be, but we'll save all that for the pre-E3 drop frames, which will be happening the week before E3 starts. And that date is that'll be on Wednesday, June the 8th. So if you want to tune into that, you can check that out live at twitch.tv/itmeJP or just watch here on YouTube when the VODs come up. But starting that Sunday, we're actually going to be on Co's channel. Co, what are we going to be watching on your channel?
The big things we're going to be watching are primarily the Bethesda broadcast, which I am super excited about. As you guys know, Bethesda had one of the biggest conferences on Twitch last year with the bombshell of Fallout 4, which they later released before the year was done. They're going to have to do something this year to top it, or at least stay competitive, and nobody knows what it is. Could be one of the biggest conferences at E3. Super excited to have it on my channel, and thanks to JP for that, and can't wait to watch it with you guys.
Yeah, we also saw Doom announced there too, so maybe they'll bring out another. I mean, what if we see a new Elder Scrolls? That would blow some minds for sure. We'll have to see. Also, that day is going to be the EA conference a little bit earlier in the day. The other thing too that we should note is that not all the conferences have a date and time just yet. So a lot of this schedule will be kind of filled in. Monday, for the most part, has a lot of things planned, but Sony hasn't announced when their press conference is going to be. And same as Nintendo. They haven't announced when their Nintendo Direct or their conference is going to be at E3. But regardless, on Monday, we're going to be swapping over to my channel, covering everything from the Ubisoft to the Nintendo to the Sony, which is historically always late. It's always the last conference on day 0 of E3. So it's going to be a lot of conferences. That's going to be probably the big day. The plan is to start a little bit before, about 30 minutes before each conference, and then talk a little bit after. We might have maybe some leeway in between the different conferences because some of those have like an hour or two in between, but they're spaced pretty well, so we can just do one solid broadcast all the day. But we'll see. You never really know with these conferences and how long they're really going to go. Of course, we're going to do the post-conference talks. We'll be breaking down everything that they just talked about, as well as all of our favorite stuff that we've seen. And the entire conference, every conference at E3, whether it's EA, Bethesda, which will be on Co's channel, Nintendo, Microsoft, PlayStation, Ubisoft. Am I forgetting anything? EA?
EA,
we already.
yeah, that's
EA
about
is
it,
on
though.
yours. Yeah, there's a lot of companies are starting to do their own thing, but those are all going to be streamed. I'm super excited for that. And we've talked about we're going to be streaming these. It's not just going to be me and Co. Last year I mentioned all these other guests. Zeke is actually going to be covering it with Twitch, so he's not going to be joining us this year. But Co, why don't you talk about some of the hosts that are going to be joining us this year?
Sure. We've got, well, like you said, Zeke is not going to be joining us, but we have people like Dodger, Strippin, and a myriad of potentially other people that have been asked, but we're waiting to hear back on.
Which is kind of always the drop frames thing, right? Like, I know a couple of people that are on the fence, and rather than just, wait for that to occur, we want to get this information out as fast as possible to you guys so that, E3 is a big week for a lot of people, so we want to make sure you guys can plan ahead as far as possible. But Dodger and Strippin have already committed to the entire thing, so they're going to be joining us. They might actually just be joining us on one camera, so we could even fit 2 or 3 more guests there. But you can expect a lot of other broadcasters Like I said last year, we had Tally, we had Sacriel, we had Shannon, we had Ellaheim, we had Dan's Gaming, Giant Waffle, Bacon Donut. Probably would see some familiar faces coming up on that. So I think that's it. Is there anything else we need to talk about in terms of what we're doing for? We've got some special chat things that'll be featured. That kind of unveiling some new tech there on the stream. But other than that, is there anything else, Co?
That's really about it. It's going to be a really exciting time. Last year's E3 was a really big event, and this year it's their job to make it even bigger. So it's going to be a lot of fun seeing all this stuff with you guys. Really can't wait to dive in and see what we're going to get.
So there you go. So don't forget, the pre-E3 drop frames will be on June the 8th, the week before, the Wednesday before. Then, of course, all the action will kick off on Sunday. We'll have full date and times for you guys as all of those conference times starts rolling in. Sunday will be on CohhCarnage's channel. Monday and everything otherwise will be on my channel. So that's that. I think we'll see you guys there. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to see what's going to be shown at E3 this year, Co.
I'm super excited, man. Can't wait to get started.
There you go. All right, guys. We'll see you next time on Drop Frames. And if not, we'll see you for all the E3 coverage coming up in June. We'll see you then.